Probably one of the most unusual streetcars in the Orange Empire Railway Museum collection is this one. This is a very interesting car. It's the only one of its type left in North America. It was built in 1909 out of wood. It is known as Descanso, which means Spanish word for rest, and that's exactly what this is. The Descanso was a funeral car in the days before the mortar-driven hearse. Many of the cemeteries in Los Angeles had streetcar lines running by them, and it was a simple matter to just run a streetcar spur into the cemetery. For $25, this car could be chartered, and it would come out to the church and pick you the mourners up, as well as the casket. The casket would be loaded right in here into this compartment directly behind the motorman's compartment, and he would go out for a ride like that. The mourners would sit in the chapel part of this car, which is right up here. I'll kind of show you like this. Get up on top here. They would ride in these comfortable padded wicker chairs. And this was of course for the mourner's family. Back here, the mourner's friends and family members that weren't part of the original party could sit back here. A curtain could be put across the rod you see up there, and it separated the mourners and the family from the regular riders back here that would ride with them out to the funeral, from the guests. This car was converted into a regular streetcar after the motor-driven hearse replaced it, and not too many people wanted to ride it when they saw it coming because they knew what it had been used for. And that wasn't too cool, so eventually this car went back to the South Park shops in Los Angeles, sat for many, many years until it was purchased by the Railroad Booster Club, which is now the Pacific Railroad Society. They used it up on Cajon Pass for their train watching activities, and they used it as a clubhouse. Eventually it came out here when the Southern Pacific was building their Palmdale-Colton cutoff, and the Descanso had to go because it was right smack in the middle of the way. So it came out here. It was painted yellow with an orange trim and red trim around it, and it has now been restored back to its full original condition. And as you listen to the folk music that's playing, we're looking at the chapel part of the car where the mourners, family members, and others of the deceased would sit once again, and other invited guests who were at the funeral would again sit back here. The LA Railway Funeral Car Descanso is the only car of its type still left in North America today. All the others were scrapped.